This is Choose Better Living, a space where you and I explore ideas that help us understand ourselves better, live with more purpose, and become a little better each day. Today, we are exploring the book Declutter Your Mind: How to Stop Worrying, Relieve Anxiety, and Eliminate Negative Thinking by S.J. Scott and Barrie Davenport. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant stream of thoughts in your mind? Do you often find yourself struggling to cope with pressure and stress in your everyday life? Human beings are deeply emotional creatures. Our thoughts are rich, layered, and complex. Yet, despite this complexity, a large portion of what our minds focus on tends to be negative. If you frequently feel controlled by unhealthy or unhelpful thoughts, then this may be the moment to pause and take a closer look at what is actually happening inside your mind. By doing so, you can begin to clearly recognize how your patterns of thinking influence your daily happiness and overall quality of life. This leads us to an important question. Why do we have so many negative thoughts in the first place? The human brain contains roughly 100 billion neurons. These are specialized cells responsible for processing information. This incredibly powerful organ is constantly taking in experiences and translating them into thoughts. Over time, those thoughts shape our beliefs, attitudes, and perspectives on life itself. While human beings do have the ability to guide and direct their thinking, there are many moments when it feels as though our thoughts have a mind of their own. Instead of us controlling our thoughts, they begin to control our actions, our decisions, and our daily choices. Thinking is essential. We rely on it to solve problems, analyze situations, make decisions, and plan for the future. However, during moments when no focused thinking is required, the mind often begins to wander. It moves restlessly from one idea to another, much like a monkey jumping from branch to branch. Inside our minds, there is a constant internal dialogue. This inner conversation plays on repeat like a film that is rewound and replayed over and over again. As a result, we become trapped in past experiences or consumed by worries about events that have not yet happened. So, what exactly causes this persistent negative thinking? There are 4 major reasons. One of the most common causes is everyday stress. Excessive stress is a primary reason many people feel as though they have lost control over their lives. Stress can come from information overload, work pressure, intense competition, and a wide range of personal concerns such as finances, relationships, and social comparison. According to research from the American Psychological Association, chronic mental stress combined with ongoing worry can lead to serious health issues. These include sleep disturbances, headaches, muscle pain, chest discomfort, frequent infections, and digestive problems. When stress becomes a constant presence, it creates fertile ground for negative thinking to take hold. Another powerful contributor to negative thoughts comes from something that might seem positive at first glance: having too many choices. Modern society celebrates freedom of choice. However, an abundance of options can actually have the opposite effect on mental well-being. Psychologist Barry Schwartz introduced the concept known as choice overload. His research suggests that the more options people have, the more likely they are to feel anxious, overwhelmed, and mentally paralyzed. This constant weighing of possibilities often leads to lower satisfaction and reduced happiness. Consider a simple trip to the grocery store. According to the Food Marketing Institute, by 2014, the average supermarket carried more than 42,000 different products. In the past, shoppers could complete their purchases in 10 minutes. Today, that same amount of time might be spent just deciding which yogurt brand or gluten-free snack is the best choice. In an article for Vanity Fair, Michael Lewis shared an explanation from former President Barack Obama about why he limited his clothing choices. President Obama explained that he deliberately wore similar blue suits each day because he wanted to reduce trivial decisions. He believed his mental energy should be reserved for making far more important choices. Beyond stress and decision overload, There is another factor that quietly fuels negative thinking: the tendency to own too many things. In an age of endless information and instant access, we have become consumers of both physical possessions and digital content. Our homes are filled with clothes we never wear, books we never read, and items that have never even been taken out of their packaging. Our email inboxes overflow. Our phones constantly alert us to low storage space, and notifications never seem to stop. We often believe that owning more will make us happier. In reality, excess possessions and unnecessary information drain our time, energy, and attention. Instead of providing comfort, they create mental clutter, anxiety, and a persistent sense of being overwhelmed. In the book 10 Minutes Digital Declutter, the author writes that we have become so dependent on technology that we often choose instant information and entertainment over meaningful interactions and real-world experiences. This dependence further feeds mental noise and negative thought patterns. Finally, there is one deeply rooted cause that operates beneath our awareness: negative bias. The human nervous system has been evolving for over 600 million years. Despite all our modern comforts, it still reacts in much the same way our ancestors did when facing daily threats. The brain's primary objective has always been survival. Dr. Rick Hansen, a senior fellow at the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California, Berkeley, explains that nature programmed the brain with three major tendencies. The brain overestimates threats, underestimates opportunities, and consistently doubts whether we have enough resources to cope with challenges or take advantage of positive situations. These tendencies create a strong negative bias, causing us to react more intensely to negative stimuli than to positive ones. So, how does this negative bias affect our thinking today? Even though we no longer live in the Stone Age and rarely face life-threatening dangers, these ancient survival mechanisms are still active. They push us to overthink, exaggerate problems, and interpret situations more negatively than they truly are. As a result, our minds remain stuck in cycles of worry and pessimism, even when there is no real danger present. Understanding these causes is the first step toward decluttering the mind. Only when we become aware of why negative thoughts arise can we begin to loosen their grip and create space for clarity, calm, and intentional living. So the question becomes this: how can we actually reduce or remove negative thinking? Sam Harris once said that there is another path besides simply accepting whatever thought appears in your mind. That alternative path is mindfulness. Mindfulness asks you to take an active role in guiding your brain away from chaotic thoughts about the future. At the same time, it requires you to train your attention on the present moment. Each time you practice mindfulness, you stop attaching negative labels to your thoughts. Instead of judging them, you learn to observe them. Mindfulness is not something mystical or complicated. It can be trained through very simple situations and practical exercises. Just like building any new habit, it requires practice, patience, and a willingness to begin at the most basic level and gradually improve over time. This is where the idea of clearing mental clutter begins to take shape. One of the most effective ways to start is by learning how to clean up your thoughts through intentional habits, beginning with something you do every single day: breathing. We breathe approximately 20,000 times a day, yet most of us rarely think about how we breathe or whether we are breathing in a way that supports our health. The majority of people take shallow and rushed breaths, which are not beneficial for the body or the mind. In the book Peace of Mind: Everyday Rituals to Conquer Anxiety and Claim Unlimited Inner Peace, Barrie Davenport explains that when we rush, our breathing automatically becomes faster and more tense. When we feel stressed, anxious, or deeply focused on a problem, our bodies tend to contract. We lean forward, lower our heads, pull our arms inward, and tighten our muscles. All of these postures interfere with healthy breathing. When we are caught in stress or worry, the muscles involved in breathing tighten like a clamp, restricting airflow. Over time, we forget how to breathe properly. Many scientific studies show that one of the most effective ways to interrupt negative thinking and regain control of the mind is to breathe slowly, deeply, and rhythmically. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxes muscles, calms the mind, and helps normalize brain function. To practice deep breathing, begin by choosing a consistent time each day. Ideally, connect it to a habit you already have, such as after brushing your teeth in the morning or after lunch at work. Turn off your phone, computer, or any device that could distract you, and find a quiet place. Set a timer, sit in a comfortable position, and breathe through your nose instead of your mouth. As you inhale, allow your abdomen to expand. As you exhale, gently pull your abdomen inward. When you're just starting, do not try to inhale too deeply all at once. Instead, inhale while counting from 1 to 4, pause for 2 seconds, then exhale while counting from 1 to 4. If you notice that your breathing feels rushed, do not force yourself to take deeper breaths. Stay calm and practice patiently each day. Over time, your lung capacity will naturally increase and deeper breathing will become easier. Once breathing becomes more familiar, the next step in clearing mental clutter involves meditation. Meditation offers a wide range of benefits that positively influence daily life. It helps regulate anxiety, reduces overthinking, and supports both physical and mental health. Research from the University of Washington shows that meditation improves work performance and enhances focus. Another study published in a neuroscience research journal found that meditation reduces stress, slows the aging process, decreases symptoms of depression and anxiety, and strengthens both cognitive ability and creativity. Like deep breathing, meditation works best when practiced at a consistent time each day. Meditation simply involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and observing thoughts as they arise without judgment or evaluation. At the beginning, your thoughts may feel chaotic and overwhelming. When this happens, gently allow the thoughts to pass and redirect your attention back to counting your breaths for a set period of time. With continued practice, the mind learns to regulate itself in a more flexible and intelligent way. As you gain more awareness, another essential skill comes into play, learning how to contain negative thoughts instead of letting them dominate your entire mental space. Thinking is necessary for survival and success in the modern world. Critical thinking allows us to solve problems efficiently, while creative thinking helps us generate new ideas and unique connections. However, constant thinking also clutters the mind and drains our enthusiasm for life and work. This is why the author emphasizes the importance of setting boundaries around unwanted thoughts. The first step is recognizing your mental patterns. Pay attention to when negative thoughts appear. Do they arise when you scroll through social media and compare yourself to others, or when you hear a song that triggers painful memories? Once you identify the patterns that pull your mind into negativity, you can apply several effective strategies. One approach is to become an observer. Being an observer means stepping into the role of a neutral witness who notices thoughts without judging them as good or bad. Allow thoughts to come and go naturally without trying to control them. Another method is naming the thought. This helps separate you from it. Instead of saying, "I will never finish all this work," shift the inner voice to say, "I am thinking that I will never finish all this work." This small change creates distance between you and the thought. When your mind becomes overwhelmed by mental noise, another simple but powerful technique is to firmly say the word stop in your mind. This method can be surprisingly effective at interrupting unproductive thinking loops. Beyond mental habits, clearing the mind also requires decluttering responsibilities in your life, starting with understanding what truly matters to you. To recognize why certain things are not meant for you, you must first know what is right for you. Core values represent your beliefs about the kind of person you want to become and the way you want to live. You can begin by writing down your views on life, work, and the type of person you aspire to be. Listing these beliefs helps you gain clarity about your personal values. Once your core values are clear, the next step is identifying your life priorities so you understand how you want to spend your time, energy, and money. There are 7 key areas to consider. These include career, family, romantic relationships, spirituality and personal growth, social life and recreation, life management such as household and financial responsibilities, and health. To organize your priorities, ask yourself 2 important questions. How do your current priorities differ from the life you truly want? And what do you need to change in order to focus on what matters most to you? With priorities in place, setting meaningful goals becomes far more effective. One of the most practical ways to stay focused is by setting goals using the SMART framework on a quarterly basis. Every 3 months, you define goals and work toward completing them. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific goals answer 6 questions. Who is involved, what you want to accomplish, where it will happen, when it will happen, which obstacles may arise, and why the goal matters. Measurable goals involve clear numbers or concrete indicators such as how many or how fast. Attainable goals stretch your current abilities slightly. They are challenging enough to stay engaging, but not so difficult that they cause discouragement. Relevant goals align with what you genuinely care about and help integrate all areas of your life, from career to personal happiness. Time-bound goals have realistic deadlines that create motivation without unnecessary pressure. For example, a work-related goal might be to secure 5 new projects for your website consulting business through referrals, networking, and social media advertising within 2 months. This goal is clear, measurable, relevant, and achievable. Goals become even more powerful when they are connected to passion. Life has a way of pulling us along before we realize we are heading down a path that does not align with who we truly are. Passion may sound idealistic, and many people do not discover it overnight. Still, it is essential to connect daily actions with goals that feel meaningful so that each small effort moves you forward. Helpful ways to explore passion include writing a personal vision for all areas of life, reviewing your current situation to identify what brings positive or negative energy, journaling regularly to better understand yourself, saving money and planning income to support your ideal future, experimenting with small steps toward what excites you, and approaching your current work with care and intention. Another important aspect of mental decluttering involves relationships, especially releasing the past. Many past relationships carry pain. The mind often replays these memories unconsciously in an attempt to resolve them, but this habit actually traps us in the past. To move forward, address what can be resolved. If conflict exists, take action when possible. Communicating with someone who caused pain is difficult, but honest conversation can break the mental loop. Share your feelings, listen to the other perspective, practice forgiveness, and discuss how to move forward. Forgiveness does not require reconciliation. It means releasing anger and resentment that poison the mind. Reflect honestly on what happened without blaming yourself or others, and ask what lessons you can carry forward. Sometimes, clearing relationships also means letting certain people go. Appreciate what once existed, then focus on nurturing relationships that matter now. As Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, life is like a play with many acts. Some characters appear briefly, others stay longer. Some play villains, others heroes. All are necessary. Appreciate them and move on to the next act. Finally, mental clarity is deeply connected to the physical space around you. How you spend your time each day determines your quality of life. Decluttering your environment helps free mental energy and sharpens focus. Simplifying your home reduces distraction and mental fatigue. Excess clutter lowers creativity and overwhelms the brain. Regularly removing unnecessary items creates a healthier living space. Simplifying activities also matters. Each day, focus on one primary goal and 1 or 2 secondary goals to avoid scattered effort. Reducing distractions is equally important. Social media is a major source of interruption. Turn it off when you need focus. Plan your day, Break tasks into manageable steps, use timers, schedule rest, and reward yourself for completing tasks. This concludes my reflection on the core ideas of the book Declutter Your Mind. I hope this episode helps you better understand its message and gives you practical tools to clear mental clutter and live with greater clarity.